Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Friday morning. We're getting ready for a great weekend. Now, it's a little bit cooler this morning than it has been the last couple of mornings, about a 15 to 20 degree difference wherever you are. But it's a lot cooler. It's going to be cool tonight also. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77, right on the edge of Lynn Haven and Panama City there. Great programs they have over there. Run by and check them out. Now listen, it's going to be as high. The high is going to be 70, barely going to get to 70, but low tonight is going to be 46. It's going to be cool. I know some of y'all are going to be burning that fireplace a little bit. I've already talked to a couple of people who want to get some logs on the fire. So to me, it's a little bit early, but it's got to be cold a little bit. But some people just want to get those s'mores going and get started on this weekend. Now the water temperature remains at 77 degrees. Now let's take a look at our river readings. River readings are, again, it's going to be a great weekend on river. We've talked about it all week long. Apalachicola at Bluntstown is reading a 3.0, just an even 3.0 there. The Choctaw at Carabille, just a little bit of a fall on it. Excellent. What you want right there, you want a little bit of a fall in water. 4.1 and falling on out the next couple of days. Choctahatchee and Apalachicola in great shape. So that means the Chipola River is in good shape. And also Holmes Creek and all those feeder creeks. If the big rivers are like that, then those feeder creeks are just like, a replica of it, and it's going to be good in those creeks too. All right, now let's take a look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Their motto is when caring counts. Strong tides on November the 8th. We're looking at a low tide this morning now. It's going to be later on this morning. It's going to be 10:55. So really around 11 o'clock this morning, we're going to have that low tide. Then it's going to swing around and start coming in at 12:30. It'll be the high tide tonight. So it's going to be coming in all day and all the way up to midnight. Just right after midnight, it's going to, stop and start coming back out. So good incoming tide. All right. So that takes care of that. The marine forecast: east-northeast at 8. Now they're going to settle down at night time to about 4. And also for the weekend, just going to be a little bit of an east wind. It's going to be in good shape there. All right, that takes care. Let's go ahead and do our, at this point in time on Friday, I like to do a fish and game forecast, make sure we get it, because we do this fishing forecast toward the end. Sometimes we let it slip away from us. Brought to us by Mark Howard. And 2 good times today. Edgewater Beach Realty, 832-6000. We're looking at this morning 4:04 to 6:04. Excellent time. And this afternoon 4:30 to 6:30. Those 2 times right there. Okay? That takes care of our outdoor weather, Panhandle Outdoors weather. We'll go ahead and take our break and be right back. Welcome back. I want to say a special good morning. Mr. and Miss Cosper, talking to them the other day. They watch the show every morning. Our sons played ball together. We back in the mid-city days, Chip and John Cosper played together. A lot of fun then. And their oldest son, Steve, taught Chip how to play guitar, and he still plays it now, especially on Sunday morning at our church. It's just wonderful to see him play that guitar like that. It started way back with Steve Cosper, and then Jim was also, I had Jim in the book, so all 3 of their boys are special to us. So I appreciate y'all watching the show, Mr. and Miss Cosper. Okay, now let's look at some pictures, great pictures. I'm finally getting caught up, so we're going to start. We have fresh water and salt water, so let's go ahead and start rolling. We're going to go ahead and get the ugly ones out of the way first. This is Bill Allen, nice speck of trout. He and Mark Calvert went fishing the other day. Bill's able to sneak away from work more than I am, and Mark is too. And you see, that's a nice redfish, Mark. Good job there, buddy. There's another. That's a nice one right there. Nice trout. They're fishing over here. This trip was in West Bay. All right. Good one there, Bill. That's a nice one right there. Now, this picture of the flounder, I just wanted to show it to you because that top one didn't have a tail. Now, it's very unusual. I don't know what, I'm sure a larger fish probably bit at him when he was little and he got away, but he didn't get away from the gigger right here, so it's a good job there. But that top one right there is okay. Now, we're going to go on down. We're going to want to see some good freshwater pictures. Brim, let's see, Shellcracker, Tommy, Oliver, and Sherry. Got some crappie here. This is Brian and Nikki Richardson. Also have some brim by Sherry and Tommy Oliver. I'm going to show you a little bit. I get some fun in wide retriever. Okay, so I'm sitting there watching a football game. A wide retriever. Okay. In Apalachicola Bay, some boys getting ready to go do some shallow water fishing and mudding. You get through those mud flats. This is the kind of rig you have to get through those mud flats down there in Apalachicola. All right. I got this picture from Mitch Coleman. He was talking about, this is a legend. This is Mexico Beach. This is Tennessee Chuck. He loves fishing down there. The mud boats were sent to us by Charlotte Breitenbach. When we get that north wind in Apalachicola Bay, happens, okay. Now these brim right here, here's some Matt Thurlow at the river. That's a sink full of brim right there. Good job, Matt Thurlow. Captain Mitch Coleman, nice redfish. We're telling y'all on the fishing report, we're going to talk about how the redfish out there in St. Joe Bay, the mouth of St. Joe Bay, and also here in West Bay. They've really been good the last couple of weeks. Check this out. Dave Borges, he won last week's Big Red Snapper and sent us a picture of how he prepared. He wanted to thank us and Tarpon Dock Seafood for giving away that Big Red Snapper. We appreciate you acknowledging it, Dave. And it looks like you had to cook just right there. Good job. Walton Outdoors, some pictures of some kids fishing at Live Oak Landing. Really nice. You got to take kids fishing now. You see the smile on their face; they're just tickled. Good job, kids. All right, here's Whitney out in the mountains. I'm not getting a lot of reports from them, and I will know more about it next day or two. They don't have good phone signal, but you can see. It's cold out there, bless her heart. I know she's cold, got the snow there, but this is one picture they were able to get to us that they had a good spot they could send it to us. Most of we just haven't been able to communicate with them. So, but I do know they're cold. Okay, then we're going to talk about some other pictures. This is Celia Favalaro with her first bass. Good job, Celia. And if you want air conditioning, if your air conditioner not working in your car, this is a good way to get some duct tape. You need some good duct tape and a couple of screws. Put that in the dashboard. Give you time to work on it. Kids don't remember their best day of television. I can promise you they can remember their best day in the outdoors. I still have such fond memories of as a kid doing outdoor things. So take a kid outdoors. Okay, Bill Jones from Alpha. He caught 35 croakers Wednesday on cut bait and about 14 or 16 inches long. And that's good. The croaker is very good eating. Bill took them back over to Alpha and fried them up there Wednesday night. All right. That catches up on pictures. Now, if you've sent some pictures and I haven't shown them, maybe resend them. Sometimes we get lost in the shuffle with the technology and all that. But most of them is really fascinating. You saw the brim shell cracker, the crappie. You saw the redfish, the speckled trout, the croakers, bass. All that was just this past week around the Florida Panhandle. So Florida Panhandle Outdoors is just hard to beat. Okay, let's go ahead and take our next break and get ready. We're going to come back and talk about some things. We're going to have our Tarpon Dock Seafood drawing and then get ready for our big Friday fishing forecast. Okay, welcome back. Got a couple more pictures I found during the break I didn't get to. I think I may have showed this. I want to show it one more time. What a nice buck. Ben Steele on Halloween Day. That's the biggest buck I've seen so far with a bow and arrow. Good job, Ben. I showed it earlier, but I want to make sure you saw it one more time. Okay, now I found these brim. Sharon and Tommy Oliver caught. That's the picture they sent. Sharon and Tommy Oliver catch it. That's out of Chipotle River. Nice job there, Sharon and Tommy. Tommy said he caught most of them. Of course, he always says that. Now, next interesting thing, I want you to look at this. This is your chance of deer collision driving your vehicle in the United States. The chance in each broken down. This is the latest research, 2012 and 2013 season. So I'm going to move this just a United States map. But let's go to this. You can see the northern states. The red now, it has a lot more chance of getting hit. The yellow is a moderate chance, and the green, which is us, Florida's a green, is a low probability of having a collision with a deer. I thought that was interesting. I got another shot here. I sort of narrowed it down to the southeast now, and it gives you the odds. In Florida, it's fuzzy. Even on my paper, it's fuzzy, but it's 1 in 912 912 motors. One of 912 motors could have a chance of hitting the deer. But look up there in North Carolina and South Carolina. But look at West Virginia. West Virginia is 1 in 41. That is a big. I mean, you got a chance. I guess because all the mountains and all up there. That's just a big chance right there. But we're a lot safer here than we are in West Virginia and running into deer at night or even in the daytime sometimes. But that was the latest research, latest statistics on that. Just want to be aware of that. Don't forget, now we got Thanksgiving coming up, and I mentioned the other day. Email me. You know, we should be thankful, and we are thankful year round, but we really sort of concentrate in November, especially on Thanksgiving. So email me some things you're thankful for and read them on the show, and you've got some pictures or something, we'll certainly share with our viewing audience. So we'll be sure and do that. Also, we've got this benefit coming up. We'll talk more about that. This chair, track chair benefit for Steve Gibbs. We're going to talk about that some next week. And also, dove season. People ask me about dove season. The dates on it now, we're looking at November the 2nd, okay, which is going to be the second phase. The second phase, not November, it's going to be November the 16th, which is 2 weekends from now. Well, it's actually next weekend, okay? Open up that second phase of dove season. Remember now, you can hunt. On that second phase, you can hunt 30 minutes before sunrise all the way to sunset. I know a lot of people now are doing that second phase and hunting early, sort of like duck season, hunting for an hour or two and wrapping it up. I haven't really done a lot of that, but a lot of people are doing that, so keep that in mind. And duck season opens up that weekend before Thanksgiving around November 23rd. Got that down. Now, tip of the day. I'm going to go back to one of our old timers out of my book, Roy Martin. Roy Martin was interviewed by a newspaper reporter years ago. I didn't get a chance to interview. He'd already passed away when I did the book. I found a lot of information on Roy. But this article was really long, and I read it word for word, and the reporter had asked him, he just set another world record on a fish he'd caught. And the reporter from the News Herald said, Roy, what's your secret to being such a successful fisherman? And I tell my class this story all the time. His quote, I go fishing when they're biting. You stop and think about it. You know, right now, this past week or two, those pompano have been over in St. Joe Bay. If you had to just take off work and go down there and fish for those pompano, you're going to be a heck of a fisherman. Look at all the pompano so-and-so caught. Or when there's redfish right here at the pass, or these flounder are getting ready. You go when they're moving. These brim that Sharon Tommy Oliver, that river fishing, they knew when it was right. They didn't go like 3 or 4 weeks ago. They went this past week because they were biting. That separates a good fisherman from a real good fisherman. And Roy Martin's so right. So that's their tip of the day. You go fishing when they're biting, okay? So we're all going to try to do that this weekend because I think it's going to be a great weekend, all right, for fishing. Now, let's get ready for our Tarpon Rock Seafood giveaway. And really, this has really been so pleasant to do this every Friday. We appreciate Tarpon Rock jumping in. Greg Abrams and Adam Abrams working there now. They all those boys, I know a lot of the boys work there. They all work hard. And this first will be a $20 gift certificate, all right? And we're going to draw that name right here. And that winner is John Labenthal. John's a good fisherman. John Labenthal, okay? Good job, John. And now this is going to be for the big red snapper like you just saw that picture a while ago. And that winner is going to be Nikki Connor from Graceville. Nikki Connor, you come down here and get a big red snapper, cook them this weekend, and everybody will be happy. All right, that's going to wrap it up. We're going to get set up now for our famous Friday fishing forecast. So let's take this break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks, to the famous Friday fishing forecast. Now, again, this is a compilation of reports I get during the week. It comes from captains. It comes from a lot of fishermen just like you. It comes from things I do and people I talk to along the way. So it's just a compilation. I can promise you it's accurate as it can be. We don't take any hearsay. We talk to the people and while we see the pictures and all. So I'm very proud of our famous Friday fishing forecast. A lot of people concentrate on one area and all, but we try to cover the whole Panhandle because so many of y'all are interested in it. So we're going to start again on our east end over in Choctaw Bay. Now that bite continues over right there at Destin. That redfish bite continues. Those bull reds are still being caught over there. I'm pulling in right here. We mentioned this on last week's show. Okay, on this outgoing tide, you can fish with some crabs, any kind of live bait you see around that area. And also the flounder now are gathering up around the pass. They're going to be coming out of the pass at Destin, just like they do here in St. Andrew St. Andrew Pass. So this area right here is going to be really good again for bull reds, and get ready for your flounder. And again, the boys are catching. Okay, we're going to get right here on the east end of Choctawhatchee Bay. Okay, we went the other way over Santa Rosa Beach. Okay, and Nancy's cut off right there. The river, all the feeder creeks going into Choctawhatchee Bay are going to be really good fishing. All right, now let's come over here. Again, going down the intercoastal waterway, you see all those sand piles, sand dunes and all. Let's go over to West Bay. West Bay's had a good bite this week. A lot of guys have been fishing again, putting in here Burnt Mill Creek and Crooked Creek, that area right in there. Some nice trout have been caught. We got an incoming tide. We got an incoming tide tomorrow, so you're gonna have this incoming tide right here between these creeks. So I tell you what, I may, well, if I was gonna fish West Bay, I'd come right down Crooked Creek and fish this area right in here Saturday morning. Okay, we're gonna have a little bit of an east wind. You can work on this side here. Got these creeks here, and also let's go down to the old Mary Farms area. Okay, old Mary Farms area, and of course the canal coming out here, and this Warren Bayou. All this area here is really good. Gonna be really good fishing. You have West Bay Point, and then of course on the other side, right here, this is excellent fishing all along through here. From this point here, all through here. You got a sort of channel right here. Got old duck pond here, and back in here. We've fished that for years. A lot of my buddies fish it, and a lot of the guys will get a drift. You got an east wind, you can get a good drift right here, even without your trolling motor. So that's going to be some good fishing in West Bay. North Bay, you're going to do some dock fishing in North Bay again. The redfish are still around North Bay. Come on down here to Hathaway Bridge. You want to catch a big drum or something around the Hathaway Bridge, you can do that. And of course the flounder. Talk about the flounder now. Listen, they're still, we still haven't had enough of that cold weather. I've talked to some folks. We still haven't had enough of the cold weather to get them bunched up. Or bunched up. I tell you what, the same way they reflect a lot on the mullet. I love studying these mullet. I love eating them too, but I love watching them all because I have an opportunity to go out on the end of my dock and sort of watch them. And I had a good buddy come down the other day. He grew up here and he wanted to come down and throw my net. He lives in Georgia now, and we had the best time. He got the net out of the garage. We walked out on my dock. Less than 1 minute. I know it sounds like a fish toy, but less than 1 minute, he threw the net off the dock and caught some mullet. And he said, it's been too long since I've done that. That's Bob Thomas. He ended up then about 15 minutes later, schooled about 25. He got 20 of those. So he ended up about 27 mullet. And some of them were little silver mullet. But what we talked about, and we've mullet fished our whole lives too, we're not seeing them bunching up yet. They're in groups of 5 or 6, or 2 or 3, then a dozen here, then a 20. Soon, when that cold weather gets a little bit colder, all those little groups are going to start bunching up. Or what the old timers used to say, they'll start balling up. And then once they ball up, then they're going to start going out the pass and getting ready to do their, when they get out the pass, we'll go about 30, 40 miles out sometimes. And then the flounder doing the same thing. The flounder, they replicate each other. They're still slowly coming out. So Shell Island, let's go behind Shell Island. If you were going to flounder this weekend, if I was going to flounder, I would either, according to what the wind's doing, they got an east wind, it's going to be a little bit choppy right here. So I would stay here around Redfish Point and flounder here. And one of the best places people don't talk about a lot is along Beach Drive. If you get that north wind coming, Beach Drive is a prime area to go. So you can flounder here. Of course, then you have the kiddie pools, but they're not. I went the other night, didn't have any luck. They're just not in the kiddie pools yet. They just haven't started coming out here. But floundering's going to be really good. All right, now let's go down to Mexico Beach. Crooked Island Sound is always steady right there in Mexico Beach. We'll put into here's his report from Captain Mitch Coleman. He sends a great report every week. Florida Days Adventures is the name of his outfit. The water temperature there is 76, 77. About the same thing we have here. The nearshore water is full of bait. A lot of bait fish are still down there. But it's been windy, so it's been windy here. It's kept a lot of people off the water. But large numbers of bull reds. And that's what we talked about. Bull reds are here. They're under the bait pods and can be caught on nearly any kind of presentation. But live bait, a live bait on a bull red is going to be the best thing. They are in the same area. The flounder bite is still good on live pilchers, near structure, works slowly on the bottom. So any of those flounder, they don't have to go that far out out of Mexico Beach. They're right there on the edge. So the flounder bite is really still good. So now the Apalachicola Bay, St. Joe Bay, Captain Blair Morgan, of course, surf fishing for big bull reds. There you go again, big bull reds in the surf. Has been very successful this week, especially around the stump hole area. And I'm going to try to do some, and the pompano are still in St. Joe Bay. So my big decision, do I want to go for the pompano in St. Joe Bay or the bull reds at Mexico Beach or the stump hole? It's a tough decision. I'm going to sleep on it. But in the morning, I'm going to be doing one or the other. I promise you. You're going to have a great weekend. The river fishermen, the river, talked about it again all week long. The river's in great shape. It's just in the ideal shape. Chipola River produced, you saw the pictures, they produced some nice catches out of Chipola. And also Holmes Creek back over here, and it goes into Choctaw River. Flounder, okay, go back to Apalachicola Bay. Flounder fishing is good, especially around the old paper mill dock in St. Joe Bay. And what they're catching them on bull minnows on a Carolina rig. So that looks good down there. So overall, the fishing, Sea-Quarters Marina, I didn't get a report filed from them, so I'm not going to say anything about what's going on in Carabel right now until I find out more information. But overall, now you can go online and you get all this report on panhandleoutdoors.net. Read about it, get your times on here if you want to know what time, and I really believe in those times. But it's been a good week, but I think it's going to be a great weekend. A lot of us will be going out. Weather's going to be, east, northeast of that, at that temperature and all. The water temperature is good. Everything looks good. So I know a lot of y'all are going to be out there. Hope to see some of y'all on the water. I don't know, again, exactly what I'm going to do, but I know we'll be talking about it today and tonight and get up in the morning and do something. High school football wrapping up this weekend in a lot of areas. Y'all go enjoy some good high school football. And meanwhile, you have a great weekend. Get ready for next week. You do something good for somebody today. Make sure that you're safe on the water and safe in the woods. Have a great weekend, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.